Okay, a while back, right, I had visions that I never experienced being on the land down there in Georgia. Right, the building on the land, I never participated in it. I always told myself that something like this happen again, like a project coming up. Well, that's a real in North Carolina. What had happened is I got involved with the project because we call it Separate 2 now. And what we're doing, we're building on this land. And this land, it's amazing. And I went out there, like, second time I went out there, a couple of brothers went out there. And while you own this land, you know what I'm saying, you can actually feel like this energy, like everything is smooth and relaxed. It's like melting, like melt out your whole being.
I'll be checking it out myself. Now we need to get the next person. Rahubat.
Yeah. Nice.
Go ahead, sister.
I think I was in the multi-universe. I called you. Remember, I called you about this.
Yes.
I was unbraiding my Ninty braid, and I almost had the braid almost finished, and then I stopped and went in the kitchen and started cooking some food, and then doing something else. And then I turned around to finish my braid, and then my braid was not loose like I had left it.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened? So I called you. When I called you, I think I went to a parallel universe or something.
Yeah, you went back in time or something. You had a glitch or something like that.
Yeah. I was watching Multi-Universe today. I'm like, well, maybe that's what.
But that DVD I sent you, you finally got to it?
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
I didn't watch it. I just was watching it again.
Yes, okay. For those of you that want to get a hold of it, give me a call, because that's very powerful. The master teacher also made a diagram about parallel universes that I'll email out to you all if you're ready to check it out again. But it's important that you understand the concept of multidimensional realities and multiverses, because that is a reality. And there's this being here that you call the you is only one aspect of you. But believe it or not, you have other duplicates of yourself living out completely different lives and completely different realities, and they may be just as unaware of you as you are of them. At the same time, the essence of you, at the core of you, the what do you call it, the one that moves forward from life to life and body to body and situation to situation, is always aware of you and always aware of situations and is completely cognizant of everything that's happening around you. The problem is that you become disassociated and got out of contact with that entity, that all-knowing entity, in that your focus has been too much directed towards this illusion or this matrix or hologram right here, that your narrow focus on this substantial reality has severed or disconnected your link to the divine. And we're trying to reestablish that as quickly as possible right now, before times are beyond repair. Next. The brother had a question. Go ahead, sister.
Also, when I was in the, I guess, the galaxy, when I was in my room, I was laying down. I was about to go to sleep. And I had my room totally dark. And when I went to adjust my eyes, it was like I was in Earth. And it kind of scared me because I couldn't get the focus of my eyes back when it first happened. I mean, it was just like pitch black, like I was out there.
I've been in that triple darkness before, yes. 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 Sit down, Brown. Hey, all right, Dal Brown. Okay. How you doing? Yeah, I'm unmuted. I'm here, though. Okay, very good. Okay, that's the son of the Godfather soul, you all. So we welcome the brother. Okay, next person here with a spiritual experience or that first question.
Yeah, Rahubat.
Yes, Rahubat. Who am I speaking to?
Speaking to Conrad Murphy.
How are you? I'm glad to hear your voice. You're a good soul.
There was this black hole catching here in Jamaica.
You're in Jamaica, right?
The light of unity.
Mm-hmm.
Black hole.
Okay, so there was an object. Let me be clear. You're not clear at all. Are you telling us that there was a blackout in Jamaica, and then from out of nowhere an object appeared, and it was so bright it made it appear as if it was daylight at night?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What do you think the size of the object was?
It was just a light, like a light, open.
Was it moving? Or was it still?
Still.
It was still. Oh, that's very interesting. And it was in the middle of the sky, high up?
Yeah.
Wow, and there was a blackout on the land at night in Jamaica. Okay, I see. That is interesting. And what did you think it was?
That's interesting.
Extraterrestrial.
But everybody wondered what.
Okay, I see. So you think they initiated maybe the blackout in order that their presence would be even more emphasized?
Yeah, that's sure. Because everyone was just in awe.
I'm sure.
No one knew what it was.
I see. Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you so much. Next person.
It it's the master to read it so much time because I had a dream that I sent it, right?
Yes, the master teacher is ushering in the Messiah.
On a personal level, you'll realize the return of the Messiah the very day that you're reconnected with your higher self, with your inner being. When you reconnect with El-Hayu, the life force in you, as this is the me, because that is the reason he'll be sent to you.
He's making straight the way for the Messiah. I would say that Michael is much more intense than a Messiah, though, from my perspective, from my viewpoint. Okay. Well, of course, I'm partial. I love the guy. Me. Next question. What's your question?
Well, I guess there was a mistake. I can't really. I do my best to describe it.
All right.
I was in the same state.
Yes.
And the first time it happened, I was in the dream. I was cutting my hair, and I made a mistake and cut too deep. And then I was at my mom's house, and I was walking upstairs, and then I felt the presence of this force, and the force that best I can describe it, it came down upon me, and for lack of a better word, I guess took over. I was still conscious of presence, and it took over when it did. I was startled, so I guess my first reaction was fear, and I could feel it coming before it actually came in, and nothing really big happened. It just dipped, and it might seem it lifted me, and I floated for a moment, and then I came down, but I really wasn't in control.
How about that?
The second time it happened, I guess it was like maybe a week or two later, and different dream. I noticed I was in the mirror, and I guess I was dead, but my reflection in the mirror was doing something other than what I was doing. And that kind of caught my attention, and I said, hey. And then I felt this presence coming again. It was more like but I could hear it sound like a whirlwind.
Okay.
I could feel it again come before. I could feel like people have aura. I could feel it come before it came upon me. Did the same thing, but this time I wasn't nervous. I kind of went with it, and it took over my body, and then I floated. I pretty much how a person floats in water when a person floating face down. I floated for a moment, and it just put me back down, and that was it.
I have one question. The person you saw in the mirror, did he look exactly like you do right now?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, he looked just like you right now. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, this is very interesting and it's thought-provoking, and this is a very fascinating time, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it. So thank you for that sharing that blessing with us. Believe it or not, there are a lot of brothers and sisters here that are experiencing similar things moving forward. When now is beginning to dock with itself, and the two realities are beginning to interphase, and we're starting to experience many things, as the sister opened up with. Next person, next question.
Hey, Amun.
Amun. Okay.
I had told you about it. I want to share with the class.
Thank you.
It was a dream I had with the master teacher, and he was saying it was back there giving an update. So this was before the update, before the update, and he was saying that how our wife got cut off the dream. The master said, "Don't look at me physically, look in me spiritually, and you won't have no need."
Very good. Very good. Now, that's important for us.
And then I woke up, I went back to sleep, and I was going I laid back down, I was going like through a tunnel, green energy until like walking the green light of energy. Then I got up, then I laid back down again, then I was vibrating like I was leaving my body, I was vibrating like.
Very good. See, it's important that you all understand very clearly that the man, Malachi Z. York, is an open vessel that receives different spiritual entities that move through him. He's like a medium, and the angel Michael is one of these entities that move through that vestige, through his body, right? So when he says to look into him spiritually and not physically, then understand that that's a very important statement to be made. I'm also impressed by the fact that the brother said that his writing privileges were cut off in a vision, and then the next day it played out actually from the mirror that Bastet said that it confirmed that his writing privileges had been cut off, right? In which I sense it was some type of a manipulative move going on right there in order for a negative move to be made. But whatever the case, time will tell. Okay, so next.
Robert.
Rahubat.
Well, I guess I can share, I had it's not much more different than what I usually get, but the other day when I was telling you I seen like a little blue light flash. Well, the other day I seen a little blue light, and it was kind of like in the corner of my eye. It stayed there for a good 10, 15 seconds before it dissipated. It just like flashed, then it's gone.
Mm-hmm. It flashes in your eye, or is it away from you?
Away from my eye, like basically the object that I was looking at, it was like, say, instead of straight ahead, it was like to an angle.
At your peripheral, but what size was it if you had to say?
It was small. There was really no reason for it to be there, for the simple reason that I wasn't looking at any lights. I didn't have no flash of light in my eye. Sometimes you look at the light bulb, look away.
Yes, right, and it's a lingering effect. What he's speaking about is that, as the master teacher taught us, you can stare, for example, in meditation, at a candle, at the flame of a candle, and that's a good way to develop or to practice meditation, is to get in a dark room and have a candle lit, and then focus exclusively on the candle for as long and intensely as you can on the vision of the flickering. Study the blaze, how it flickers, how it changes colors on the spectrum of it, how it shifts from one side to another, how it dances, and just concentrate and get involved with that blaze. And then what you'll find out is that after you close your eyes, you'll still see the flame, even with your eyes closed. Now, learning to visualize, to create reality with meditation goes like this. With that exercise, with that candle, when you're watching the blaze flicker, the longer that you can maintain the vision of the flame with your eyes closed, the more proficient you'll be at visualization and creating your own reality. Is everybody clear about that?
Right, Brother Amun.
Yes.
Well, I was going to say again, once I think I spoke on it before, but at one time I was sitting and I was meditating on the candle flame, and closed my eyes trying to hold the image. But what had happened was, when I closed my eyes and held the image, I held the image of the entire candle with the flame and all. Mm-hmm. Then the flame on the candle dissipated, and I could see the candle alone by itself, and it was like a dark purple with a green, like a green light shining from behind. And it was almost to the point where it felt like mentally that I could reach out and grab it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, you're almost certainly connected to two realities, and you have to be careful about that. In that, you have to learn how to fast and meditate and think positively. Keep yourself surrounded by positive people and keep an inflow of positive information, because angelic beings will be trying to get in touch with you frequently. And as long as you remain open to them, they'll try to gain access to you, which is, of course, extremely beneficial to you. But just remember what I said, that you surround yourself with positive people and positive energy, and even on television, radio, music you listen to. Don't listen to negative rap or look at Freddie Jason, this type of thing, and have a pure diet of vegetables and a lot of liquids like water, and stay healthy and a lot of sunlight. And study a lot, and keep your vibrations up, because you're closer than you may think to your goal. Okay.
Right.
Next, and that goes for many. I'm speaking to most of you here tonight too, so I want you to know that. Right. And that's what's so exciting about this class in particular. I won't say this class, but that's what's so exciting about you as a group of people in particular. Next question.
About 2 months ago, I was trying to locate an object, a table, for my business.
Okay.
And I was having a tough time finding it. I was walking in and out of hardware stores, just couldn't find it. Then, all of a sudden, out of the blue, my neighbor popped up and told me that he had a table for me. And like, I couldn't believe it. I have the table in front of me right now. It was the exact table I was looking for.
Well, you know, it's a wonderful thing that you shared that with us, because what that is evidence. And you two, like the former person and the sister that opened up and everybody I've spoken to this evening, you're obviously involved in two realities. And so you need to really focus. And I'm glad that I know you, or well enough to know that you are, but stay focused on meditation and visualization and on positive energy. Because what it is that that's proof that you, like the rest of us, are creating your own reality. The thing is that's so fortunate about your situation is that because you mind your mind for the jewels of your soul, that more often than not you create the positive reality for yourself purposely, as opposed to people that are confused about who and what they are, that create a negative reality far too frequently by default because they don't know who and what they really are. They don't realize that the helping hand they're looking for is at the end of their own arm. They don't realize, in other words, the people that are still lost and inevitably in search of something outside of themselves to worship or to look up to create their reality for them. And when reality is that El-Hayu, the life force inside you, is your only creator, the only source, and the only one that you can really trust or should ever really trust, right? So, and he doesn't speak to you necessarily in vocal words, but learn to get in touch with your feelings. As unfortunately, females, not say unfortunate for men, because we're less in touch with our feelings a lot of times, but women have demonstrated historically that they're more in tune with their feelings. And if you pay attention, if you obey your feelings and pay attention to your feelings, you'll be very successful in creating a positive reality. For example, when you have a negative feeling of any kind, then check what you're thinking. I have to repeat this. Check what you're thinking, and then change the thought, because at that instant you're creating a negative future that's going to manifest in a negative reality for yourself. Or a lot of times that you think of something that you want. It could be a car or a mate or a certain outcome for your health, you know what I mean, or your finances. And as soon as you create this in other words, whatever you think of, anything you can conceptualize, you can visualize, materialize, actualize, and thereby realize. First is the thought that creates energy that shapes and forms the matter, right? So when you see something in your mind in 3 dimensions and vivid color, remember that it's as real as anything. It's as real as anything that you think is out there. Are you following me? And it's not that what you're seeing out there, what you see in your mind is a reflection of what you're seeing out there. In reality, what's inside your mind, what you see out there is a reflection of what's been created already in your mind previously. Are you following me? You feel what I'm saying? So the thing is that once you create something inside your mind that you want, then a lot of times you allow doubts to creep into your psyche. When you say, well, I want that particular 2011 car right there. And as soon as you do that, the universe goes right to work, especially, and you're creating things, whether negative or positive, when you start feeling strong emotions with your thought. If you have a thought about something and there's no emotions accompanying to it, then you maintain the status quo. More than likely, things will stay the way they are. But when you have a churning inside of you, when you're worrying about something or you're thinking about something negative, you create, the universe is manifesting it. Or when you have a strong surge of energy and you get happy about receiving something that you want positive, and you start getting emotional and joyful about anticipating, interacting with the object of your desire, then the universe is created. And until or unless you interrupt that with doubt, or allow a person to put in you and tell you, say, oh, girl, you know that's a wonderful dream, but your situation ain't allowing for that. You can't hardly pay your rent. How you gonna get a car? And then you think to yourself, oh, that's right, I can't fly, and you begin to fall. So be aware of that and stay away from people that, even though they can't create a negative reality for you, you create your own reality. You can have people that affect the reality that you're creating by whispering negative suggestions into your mind. Are you following me? And then your inner being adheres to that and thereby cancels out a positive reality that you were creating for yourself before that doubt was suggested. And believe me, it's easier than you think. It's no different than they're talking to somebody, and then in the background they ask if you want to eat. You said, no, I'm not hungry. Then you hear a McDonald's commercial, and the next thing you know, you change your mind, and you don't even realize where it's coming from. So suggestion is very powerful, too. So keep yourself surrounded by people that see you the way you want to be seen and see you with the future that you're projecting for yourself. Don't ever be around people that are depressive and repressive, and they have a negative vision of you, and they have a negative picture of you, how your future's going to play out, because what they're doing is slowly draining your creative energy, and they're poisoning and polluting your visualization process, and helping you to create a negative reality to manifest for you. Okay. And another thing I want you all to be always cognizant of is never allow yourself to view yourself through the eyes of other people. Don't do that. You see what I mean? That can be very debilitating, even if it's your own mother. Because far too frequently, your mother's going to see you the way that you were, with a truthful lie, and she's going to see you, but she can't see what you have become and are becoming. And so she'll say, well, I know her, or I know him, or I know you, such and such and such a thing. You think to yourself, that's not me. I know you. You can fool everybody else, but you can't fool me. Say, I know you. No, you knew who I was. I'm not that anymore, you see. And, you know, in other words, you have to be strong enough inside within yourself to make the positive affirmation about knowing who and what you are in order to be a soldier and keep soldiering on and pressing forward into transforming, evolving into what you know you're becoming, right? And then what will happen is that one day, she, your mother, and everybody else around you will look at you, and then they'll realize that you have become something different than they thought, that caterpillar has evolved and transformed, the metamorphosis into a butterfly. And then the day they step to you and say, you're not a caterpillar, you know what, baby, you're a butterfly. Mama was wrong. And that will be a day of revelation for you. All right, I'm sorry to interrupt y'all.
I have a follow-up question, bro.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. Listen, since meaning we were created in the non-physical realm by thought, right? My question is, by whose thought? And I'm not talking about the physical me, us, and the inner being in me, my creator, via thought.
Yes, you see, let me say this first. Okay, now let me say that the thought itself is the creator, right, of the non-physical you, right? Now, the only thing that confuses you, in other words, when we look for a creator, you know, we're looking for somebody or some entity to pinpoint or as the source, that that's where it's coming from, as the confusion is, and the illusion of separateness is, as you and me are here and there and now and then, which is what you created in a universe, which means against oneness, one and verse against oneness. When you create, all it is that a division of consciousness is taking place. There's only one entity here. There's only one creator. There's only one source here. There is nobody else here. There is no other personage, no other personality. There's only one. We are all one. This is one mind manifesting itself or expressing itself in many different forms.
So the ultimate thought is all of us are one. That's the ultimate thought.
There is no us. All of us is one. There's only one. There is no us. There is no us. Are you following me? In other words, there's only one. That's the reality of it. The illusion is that there's you and me here and there and now and then. Okay? For example, the master teacher, again, he told you that you were the center of existence and all things were equal distance from you. Remember that?
Right.
And he told me that I'm the center of existence, and we know that he's Al-Kup, which means he's the center. If he's the center in Colorado, you're the center in New York, and I'm the center in Georgia. And the center is where's the center in one place, right?
Right.
Okay, the center of existence is only one. So that the reality is that the illusion is that you're there and I'm here and he's there. The reality is that we're all here and now. Because he said that
inner being, so that inner being in us is that center.
that is the center.
Right, the inner being is where we all come
And the
together.
illusion is the what you call the physical body. That gives the perception of here and there and now and then and you and me. In as much as, again, I'm going to use the same example and have patience with it. You put a 200-watt light bulb in the center of a dark bedroom, a lamp in the middle of the floor. Let's imagine that as the source from which all things emanate. Divine love, creativity, everything emanates from that source. And I ask you, Derek, to cover it up with a black-brown lampshade, and you tape the bottom so no light comes out. So we hide our light under a bushel basket, or the light inside you, that's the light that shines in the darkness. The darkness comes into that, meaning you're God, but you don't know it anymore because your light is hidden from you. So you are the source, and I'm saying the light that's in the center of your solar plexus to make you maintain a 98.6 body temperature is the same light that's inside of me and every man, woman, and children that's on this phone and everywhere right now. It's the same light. It's the same center, right? Now, that's the reality. The illusion came in, if you have us all stand around the lampshade in the dark room and take a pin and poke a tiny hole in the lampshade. Everywhere the light streams out of that lampshade into that dark room, every piercing ray, let's consider that tiny ray a god or a goddess. Okay? And in that, let me finish this thought. In that, the source merely shares and they become. So that creates the illusion of here and there, you and me, and now and then. Because if she pokes a hole over there and you poke yours over here, then that makes her, and you. That creates the illusion of you're Derek, and that's Carolyn, or that's Susie, right? And you create the illusion of here and there because she's apparently over there in New York and you're apparently over here in Texas on this side of the lampshade, she's on that side. Are you following me? And now and then, because if you poke your hole first, your zero time reference starts first, so apparently you would appear to be older than her. I'm saying it's all illusion, and the master teacher was saying, and share this with me right now, let's all collectively, mentally, pull the lampshade off of the light bulb, and that's the reality of what the situation is. There is no you and me here and there and now and then. It's only one light in the room, and that's in the center of everybody here.
I got it. Okay.
Okay? That's where it's all coming from. Even the illusion is coming from there. Everything is coming from there because I'm in all, and
All is within.
if all is in you, what's outside of you?
All.
Nothing.
So this
No. If all is inside of you, brother, what's outside of you?
Nothing.
That's right. So there is no out there. If there's no out there, there's no me out there or her out there because we're all in you. If all is in you, where are we all at, brother? If all is in you, where's everybody in this class at, brother? That's right. We're in you and you are in us. I'm in all and all is in me. So there is no out there. Are you following me? And an example of that is if you close your eyes right now, you can see your mother in there, right?
Yeah.
Can you see your girlfriend in there? Can you see yourself as a little boy riding the bike for the first time without falling down?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see the sun at night in there?
Yep.
Okay, because that you can see it all, and it's not just memory because you saw the future in dreams before. So what it is that's the what-seeing eye.
The all.
That's the eye of all. That's the light bulb, not the little holes in the lampshade when the Bible says, "Set it not that ye are gods, and all of you are children of the light bulb, or children of the Most High."
where are all these thoughts coming from, emanating from?
They're coming from the light, from the source. They're coming from the source.
So all these characters is coming from the source.
That's the author of the story. That's right.
So all these beings and characters is still coming from that one source.
From that one source. You want to tip your celestial hat? Is that powerful? Yeah, that's serious, right? And that's what makes the source worthy of praise. Are you following me? So let me say this. So with the problem at the root of the difficulty, that's the difficulty at the root of the problem, is people keep trying to create some type of a mythological God, whether it's black or white, man or woman, or bald head and up in the cloud, or whatever it is, or your best friend Bodie, or Sheila Bonet, or whatever you want to name it, or the Bunny Christ on a wooden stick. They keep trying to find something out there to worship. There ain't no damn God out there. Where's God at?
Inside you.
Inside you. Get that in your mind. That's how you fell from grace. That is your problem. That's how you fell. Because you went whoring after false deities. You listened to the seductive speech of some intelligent angel that misled you and tricked you into believing that he was the source, Al-Hayu, and that's how you fell from grace.
Exactly.
That's what happened. That's what happened. You all here are those fallen angels.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. You've been hoodwinked and Plymouth Rock landed on you. You worshiping little pinholes in the lampshade instead of the light bulb, the source, inside you, that makes you maintain a body temperature 98.6 when you walk outside and it's below zero in New York. You in Texas that go into a dark room and can't see your hand in front of your face, and then give your eyes chance enough to adjust, and then you can make out faint shapes and you're confident enough to walk without bumping your knee. You know the catalyst you need to see is light. And if that light is not coming from outside you, where's it coming from? That's the light that shines in the darkness inside, but the darkness comprehendeth it not, meaning you got, but you forgot it. If you in Brooklyn and you go outside and it's 20 degrees below zero and you maintain a constant body temperature 98.6, if that heat ain't coming from outside you, where's it coming from? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
So that intelligent deity hoodwinks everybody.
Yeah, well, yeah, there it is. And you said that like it's something that happened in the past, that being still hoodwinking the majority of people.
Right.
There ain't no God out there. There ain't no God out there. God is in you. Al-Hayu, the life force, is the center of you. You are the creator. The highest aspect of your consciousness is creating your reality. The helping hand you're looking for is on the end of your own arm. Wait a minute here. Let me go and get something that the master teacher wrote again.
Actual fact 24. Who you are, not what you accept.
Okay, I'm reading from the book, the actual fact. Who you are, not what you accept. By the master teacher, right? Who you are, not what you accept. By Pa Manzul Nazdur Amandu Priyakat Pa Hanu Dejid. Jajidi, right? 3. You are the ever-living supreme being. You are the ever-living supreme being. Can somebody tell me what that means? The. Did it say one of them or beings with an S, or is that singular? Can anybody clarify that for me?
You are the all.
You are the ever-living supreme being. So what is that? How many are there?
One.
Okay, and who is it?
There's only one.
So it's you. So which one? Why are you looking out there for a supreme being? You are the ever-living supreme being. The first, and will be the last. 4. You ask where it's all coming from, Derek? The very origin of the multiverses. You are the very origin of the multiverses. You know, you're the source of all the creations. The very origin of the multiverses into a universe from 9 ether to 1 ether. The combination of all existing chemicals and gases. The multiversal mental to the universal mind. The supreme being, the grower, Papa. The all is you. The all is you. You are Pau. All living and existing things. The sum of all life is of you. And you are who you are. Now, my question is Is Derek, now about the question that you had, is that clear? Is that clarifying any of that at all?
Yeah, it clarified a lot, because like I said, I was trying to meditate on the fact about the billions of characteristics, and saying that we are the source of all characteristics.
You are.
So remember that we are the source of all characteristics.
That's right. But you see, when you say I am who I am, we're talking about the who aspect of you, H-U, the creative force of will. I'm not talking about the physical. I'm not talking about the pen holder and the lampshade or the character in the story. I'm talking about the author. So when I said to you and the other brother and the sister, I said, you all are apparently straddling two realities. That means that you haven't lost complete contact with the light bulb. You're not fully engulfed in the illusion of being a pin holder in a lampshade or a character in the story. Are you following me? So what happens is that when you, the creator inside you, being in touch with that aspect of you, when your child asks you, Derek, who are you talking to? You say, you called me. I'm in here talking to myself. The myself didn't create that table. Who did? The I.
As in, I am who I am. I am.
The I.
Right. Yeah, see, I get your point right there. Yeah.
The I. Okay, so you have to, now when the Bible says you have to make your I single again, what do they mean?
You have to make your I as one.
As one. I.
The all-seeing I. The all-seeing I.
So when Jesus said, I and my Father are
one.
What does he mean? When Malachi writes me, he say, Akbet, you and I are
one.
You and I are one. When the Holy Tablet says that Al Hayu, Al-Kedar, look deep into this light, you see three memes, the one here and the one there are one, they are one.
The same spirit flowing through each of them. It's the same spirit.
Through all of us.
Right.
The source is using that. The source is using them as an example.
Right, so the same spirit is flowing through all of us in this class, right?
It ain't but one. It ain't but one. There can be but one, baby. Ain't that loving you? Ain't that loving you?
Divine love.
So that's why every time that these evolved beings were confronted with a person that was lost and was obviously acting out as the devil and trying to attack or assault them in one way, Jesus would say when he slapped him, what did he do with the other cheek? Didn't he turn the other cheek?
Turn the other one.
Okay, why do they always say things like, do unto your brother and your sister what?
Do unto yourself, because all...
As you would do unto yourself, because they know that your brother and your sister is yourself.
It's the keeper, right. You are your keeper.
You are your brother's keeper.
Right.
You see what divine love is? Let me show you where the confusion came from. When you created the division, the illusion of here and there, you and me and now and then, you created the differences, and differences create differences. Are you following me? You created male and female, black and white, young and old, rich and poor, what you call good looking, your criteria for good looking and ugly, and this, that, and the other. You created all these things, and that's what created the hostility and the problems. Are you following me? The mistrust, and the envy, and the jealousy, and hatred, and wars, and rumors of wars. Are you following me? But as you wake up and you realize that we're all one, then you see that's divine love.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Yeah, it's a beautiful day.
And there's no fear. You see, the fear is removed from you because there's nobody here but you, nobody in the room but you. So don't be afraid when the lightning strikes and the coat hanging on the back of that door look like a man standing over you with a hatchet, because it's all in your mind.
Right, because
literally, all in your mind.
If the mind is mental and fear is the physical three-dimension, then there's no such thing.
No, it's a substantial reality. In other words, there's no such thing as an 18-wheeler truck, but you don't stand physically in front of it, because when it hits you, even though it's not real, the way it feels, it may as well be.
Right.
See, you have to respect the power of the mind, of the mother mind of all.
True.
Remember what I told you about those athletes that ran a race, and then they set them down into a chair hours afterward and hooked them up to electrodes and sensitive equipment and had them reenact the race in their mind mentally with their eyes closed very vividly, and their body responded identically with the same breathing and pulse rate and perspiration as it did when they actually ran the race. What's the difference?
There's no difference.
There's no difference.
And Amun, but everyone's had their experiences, correct?
Say it again.
Everyone's had their experiences dealing with, their situations, and they know the truth.
You mean at the highest level of your consciousness, at the all-seeing, in other words, the highest aspect of your consciousness, you know everything because you're the source of everything. That's what the master teacher meant by you have become enosites. What does that mean? Somebody. Enosites. Forgetful beings. That means that at one time you knew, but now you've forgotten. Now you have to remember. In other words, you've separated yourself into men and women and children and angels and reptilians and gods and demigods and this one and that one and here and there and now and then, like a foot over there, an arm and an ear over here. So those are body parts of body members. Now you have to remember yourself or collect it all back up into one again in order to see the big picture. Come on up here. You have to reconnect with the eye at the top of the pyramid, the one eye.
But we remember. But was it deliberately wiped from our brains, our past life that we?
Yes, it was, and the reason it was wiped deliberately from your memory is that you've been here before there was a such thing as time, and you've experienced your different expressions of your entity, and so many births and deaths and trauma and ups and downs and joy and emotion and so many riptides and a feeling that if you were to remember all of those past and future events right now, you would be so overwhelmed with it, you'd be totally distracted from this present reality and unfit to live in it.
So what are we striving for right at this moment?
In other words, let me say it like this. If you can see yourself as just consciousness, divine consciousness, right? And there's nobody here except you. And when I say that, use that term very loosely because I mean every man and woman on this phone in this conference call and the one...
We're taking this very serious.
It is serious. People are trying to find their way back home, man. Or sister, they're trying to find their way back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're very serious about this.
Now,
we're going to make this climb.
Well, of course we're going to make this climb because we want to. In other words, we want to reconnect with our divine self to the ultimate reality of it. But you as divine consciousness, what I was saying, is that in the beginning there was nothing there except you. And you knew, again, conceptually, that you were omnipresent, omnipotent, you were all-loving, all-wise, and all-powerful, but not through experience. Are you following me? In other words, you knew conceptually that you had patience and you had all these wonderful attributes, and you were the Almighty. But what does it mean, again, to be the Almighty and there's nobody there but you? What are you comparing that to? Or the all-wise, even though it's facts. I mean, what does that mean? It's a hollow statement, isn't it?
Right, if you don't have anything to compare it to.
But it's true. You are the cat's pajamas. You are the one that shot Tuesday, put Wednesday to bed. You did catch lightning in the bottle. You the one. But what you wanted to do is to see yourself from another perspective, to try to really analyze who and what you are from another vantage point. Since there was nobody here but you, you created the illusion of here and there, you and me and him and her and now and then. You poked holes in a lampshade. In other words, you separated or divided your consciousness into 46 trillion created beings that you called men, women, and children, angelic beings and demons, etc. Grays, right? Puppy dogs and rocks. You divided your consciousness. You thought it up. You divided your consciousness into all these different entities, these different beings. And when you did, in the same way again, that Sybil has 7 different personalities, but there's only one woman there, or Arthur writes a story and he has 23 characters in it, which is just 23 different expressions of one mind, not 23 different people. Is everybody with me? So what happens is each and every one of the characters that you created in your mental as sub entities of your
subconscious
of your main consciousness, right? Like a little girl that creates a little friends at her tea party. Are you following me? And she gets so involved in it that they actually take on a personality in her life. And then when people scold, they say, "See, Alice, she doesn't like it when you scold me like that." And her mother be telling her, "I done told you, you act like you crazy, little girl. Ain't anybody over there in that corner." "Yes, she is, Mommy, and she doesn't like when you holler at me." You see? So it takes on a life of its own. That's what you've done. And what happens is because your mental is so strong, you are the creator, the Almighty. Your thoughts are so strong that they've taken on a literal life of their own, but they have, what you did is you erased the memory from each and every one of them in order to create enosites, because you didn't want them to so-called wake up in the castle. In other words, just wake up knowing that they were you, because you would defeat the purpose. Are you following me? If they knew they were the one, it wouldn't make any difference, because you would still be back at square one, right? So you erased them. You asked me why the memory was. You erased the memory from them of their past and who they really are, right? So that they could wake up in the dark, in other words, ignorant about who and what they were, so they fell from grace. So that's really aspects of your own consciousness that think themselves to be individual men and women. Isn't that funny, right? But it's very clever, isn't it? And it is clever. And now, so what it is that you're looking at yourself from another perspective. In other words, when you're looking in the mirror,
Right.
when you see yourself in the mirror, and you say, I say, who is that? You say, that nose, them ears, that mouth, that's Derek right there. That's me right there in the mirror right there, Amun. I see myself, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, the thing is, if you stare long enough into that mirror, into your eyes, saying that the chin, the nose, the ears, eventually you're going to see a little blur come over your face.
Right.
And then you're going to realize that it's somebody inside you that's looking out at you.
Okay. Right.
That's the one. And if you don't believe he or she is there, then if you close your physical eyes while you face that mirror, can you still see yourself if you want to with your eyes closed?
Okay.
All right, then that's the one. Make your eyes single. That's the one eye at the top of the pyramid, which is the nasal cavity of the nose, the pineal gland, the all-seeing eye that can see even when those two are closed. You made that eye single. That's the one. That's the watcher that never did go to sleep. He's not, or she. They're not a character in the story. They're not no pinhole. That's the light bulb. Now, the thing is that the one that's watching you then, when your eyes are closed, she or he can see you, right?
Right.
The question is, can you see him or her?
No.
Because you cannot give form to what is formless.
Right.
Are you following me? So let me say it's important that I make this point clear. So that is the creator. We know that, right? So does the creator have a form as a man or a woman or anything that you can touch or see? So the answer is no, right?
Right.
So what man is God or woman is God is out there for you to worship?
None.
That's how you fell from grace. Looking for one.
I got you, bro. I clearly got you.
You better try to hear what I said. Well, I hope everybody heard me right then. And don't suck wind.
I heard you clearly, bro.
What I'm talking about is serious, and I'm not kidding. And that's as real as it gets. That's as real as it gets.
Clearly, bro. I ate that up.
Now, if you can't handle that, you're not ready. Going back to sleep.
For example, there's just no bald-headed, bearded white man in the clouds that's benevolently watching over you.
All right, I yield to the class, brother. All right.
I love you. Next. I hope we generated some questions. No, not over just means above. You know that there's no end to you, right?
Yeah, I got a question for you.
I'll do my best.
I have a question, brother.
I'll do my best.
Like you were saying that, talking with the brother Derek, saying about our memories being erased, as far as lives, ups and downs, experience, etc. And you were saying that if we were to remember all that at this present time, we would be so distracted, we wouldn't be fit to live in this prior existence. If the brother asked, what was the purpose of our existence now? And you were saying to protect our soul, because we would never remember the more.
Yes, as an enosight. In other words, what you've done is even more miraculous and wonderful than previously thought, right? In other words, if I ask you to write a story and you say, okay, Alice in Wonderland or something, that for a woman it's a beautiful thing and she meets Prince Charming, it's a wonderful story, it's a beautiful story, she's a princess and this and that and the other, right? Okay, but it's only characters in the story, it's not real. But it is real in as much as she merely shares or folks are holding the lampshade and the light streaming out the lampshade is as real as the light bulb that it comes from. Am I right?
Correct.
So that is God's, created from the God. And in essence, she merely shares at her essence. In other words, where did the character Alice get her thoughts, her spirit, and her personality from? Whoever wrote the story created the story, right? So the woman that wrote the story, her essence is in every Adam or Eve of the story. A-T-O-M or A-D-A-M, it doesn't matter, right? How you want to look at it, right? So every one of those, so she merely shares and her characters become, right? So what it is that they want to become now we don't want to just go back necessarily and to just blend back into the rays and forget the whole thing and just wake up, okay, I'm all, and there it is, back to square one. Ultimately, I think what you all are striving for is to become illamutajazidas. Can somebody define that for me? Divine incarnated into flesh. The Word became flesh and dwelt among men. You hear it now. You hear the word. The Word became flesh and dwelt among men. You want to become an avatar, like in the movie Avatar, illamutajazidas, so that you can live out a reality through your character. And the beauty of it would be as if the character was woke and cognizant of the fact that they are the author, so that they have control over what happens on the next page. Because Alice, as a character, has no control over what happens on the next page, right? Only the author that's writing the book does, right? Decides if she's happy or sad or lives or dies or ugly or pretty. The one writing the book decides, the woman with the pen in her hand, right?
That's exactly what I'm focusing on.
So that's my point. So what it is that I want you all to realize the beauty of it is to reconnect with the fact that you are the source, you are the creator, you, and then you can live out your eternity through any character that you want whenever you get ready and control what happens on the next page or the next day. That is a real heaven. Can anybody hear me tonight? Can you hear? I said that is a real heaven. Not talking about no hocus pocus tambourines and pass the plate, please. I mean for real. I'm not talking about creating no God or looking for somebody to follow or worship or going cutting down a tree and building a cross and putting a plaster pair of Jesus on it and painting it up, and after you make that, getting around and bowing down to it and pretending it's your maker and you know you just made that with your hands. Please. God didn't create man in his image and likeness. Man created God in his image and likeness. That's why God in every country looks like the people of the country that he's in. Am I right or wrong? Yeah, you know Chinese God is a Chinese, and Indonesian God is Indonesian, and African God is an African with big lips. Now stop that.
Give a form to something that's formless.
You can't get this. You see, now that's real right there. That makes me happy that you got it. God ain't got no damn shoes on. Period. Now, you have some aspects of consciousness, right, because you created fail-safes. When you divided yourself into 46 trillion created beings of different sub-aspects of your own consciousness, the pin lights and the lamp of characters in the story, however you want to look at it, the one that stays woke, the one that created the thing that never sleeps, you know what I mean? That one also created, it's not just cut and dry, just here and there. It's not just the source and then the enocytes. There's also beings that are specialized beings that are partly enocytes and partly what you call angelic beings are still connected to the source, right? That act as intermediaries between the characters in the story and the author. Did anybody hear that? Those are called spiritual guides, of which the master teacher is the master of them. That's why he's saying make that inner journey. You must turn yourself what?
Inside out.
Inside out. You must make that journey within. I don't believe nobody can hear me. Because y'all not feeling what I'm saying. The phone ain't shaking and the phone ain't vibrating. It ought to be hot right now. I'm talking about, I don't think you...
Stop it. You know it's vibrating. Now, come on.
I'm telling you right now, I said you have to make that journey within.
How does that relate to the middle and being our guardian?
Those Natiru are also created beings, but they are higher aspects of consciousness than you are at this point presently. In other words, every atom of what you call creation has the essence of the source in it, so that even the meanest worm, like in the Wisdom of Tahuti, authored by the Master Teacher, at some point is going to evolve into the intellectual level of consciousness that you're at right now. And right now, as you speak to me and ask these questions, there are beings over you and I called Ilu that are so high above us, in the rank of things, that they are beyond even our flights of our imagination as what we describe as gods. They're above even any gods. Are you following me? But one day, you will evolve up into where they're at, and God knows where they'll be when you get there.
Right.
Are you following me? So these Natiru are beings that are just further along in the evolution of reconnected with who and what they are than you are. That's all. In the same way that, again, on the islands in the South Pacific, when they had World War II, you had indigenous people on the islands that when they flew over with airplanes, they never saw airplanes before. They were still excited about fire. And then after the war, the soldiers left. They came from out of the thick inner brush, and they set up edifices. You know, they got pieces of the planes, and they worshipped them and bowed down to them for years and years, with cigarette lighters or a gun. And they looked at those things as artifacts like you do. If you find a piece fragments of a spacecraft right now, or meet a gray standing in your bedroom, you see how excited you get? They were excited like that. So when people out of nostalgia went back, soldiers from World War II went back 30 years later, and they saw these airplanes set up as idols that these people got around and worshiped right there, they were fascinated that these people thought of them as gods. Are you following me? So what the Natiru is to you is the same as the flyers, American and Japanese flyers were to those native people in the bush and those South Pacific Islands in World War II. Are you following me? Those are your brothers and sisters that have evolved to a higher consciousness than you. That's all. Are you following me? That's what they are. That's your family.
So, right. What about people who have memory of prior lives?
Okay, those people that are just
like pre-birth experience.
Okay, those people are just. What happens is that sometimes you can be driving a car in a place that you've never been in physically, but you get a sense of deja vu. So when you turn the corner, you know there's a red church around the corner, don't you? Have you ever picked up a phone before it rang or answered the door before somebody knocked and kept talking about a person and they appeared? Or talked on the telephone with somebody that all of a sudden somebody from Utah got on the phone and cut into your conversation, and you and the other person, everybody was confused as to how they got on there? That happened, right? Or the cab driver came over the TV. So what happens is sometimes the frequencies cross. And so when they interface across like that, in other words, when the illusion and reality cross, when your two-eye illusion or simulation or substantial reality gets crossed up with the ultimate reality or the single reality with the oneness, that the all-seeing eye knows what? All things. And so what happens is when you cross and interface with that, then you have access to the past and the present and the future, and you know all things in a flash. Intuitively, you know everything, and you may get a glimpse of anything, right? Then when you drop back down to your regular low vibration that you maintain habitually, then you think to yourself, it's miraculous. How did I know that? Well, it's nothing you don't know at that level of your consciousness. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Is that clear to you?
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
Okay. If it's not, keep turning it, because I like the way y'all ask. I like the questions you're asking tonight. Any other questions? Y'all got to get this. There's nothing more important that you'll ever do. You realize what y'all know what's going on here tonight?
I think we're a bunch of people that are having the same experiences.
You're one entity that's having different experiences. But it's only a dream, because there's no such thing as death, and life is only a dream, and we're the imagination of ourselves. Did anybody hear that?
Yes.
That's what the Master Teacher meant when he had that song way back in the 70s, It's Only a Dream, right? With everybody with the little jewel on the third eye, forehead, and all of that. It's only a dream. It seems real, but it's only a dream. Remember that. Those that don't have the movie Dark City, send for it. Get these spiritual packages from me. It's time to wake up. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed.
Your dog said he was bugged out watching the other day.
Yeah, serious, right? He kept saying over and over again, he kept saying he is waiting for that one that's coming with somebody that's coming with new. He said, I am waiting for somebody coming with new information. That I'm listening. He said, I'm listening for that person that's coming with new information, a new level. I'm listening. I'm waiting for that person. And one day we'll find that person, and we're going to find out that that's your own higher self speaking at you. Coming at you again from your past through your future, because there ain't nobody here but you. Believe that. I'm only a reflection of you, and so is everybody else here.
I'm back.
Yes.
As I listen to the conversation tonight, and my heart chakras just have imploded.
I love it. I'm beautiful. That's beautiful.
Truly, because I was reminded as I listened to this vision I had since the summer. It was you were passing out DVDs, and I only saw your arm, and I heard your voice, and I saw me. So I am a Tafet. I heard Dimalet, the master teacher, and it was someone else. At first on a DVD, I shared it with you, but not the class.
Yeah.
Past summer, at first we was at our lowest. We were clothes all raggy, just beat down, looked like this world, and just we went to the ringers. And after a while, we transformed on the same DVD. We just started, and we transformed and illuminated. The light chakras with this light was just zapping all through our being, our clothes. We shine to our highest high. And I'm like, and I was in awe. I'm like, that's me.
That's right.
That's us.
That's right.
I said, how did we get here? I started pacing the floor, crying, and you said, don't cry, sister. You are on your way home now. Y'all are on your way home.
That's right.
Don't cry. And I went up and down the floor. I'm like, how did we get here? But you, as you were teaching and directing, and as you had held that DVD in your hand, giving it to me, I saw it. We was in transformation. Then I remember when I first started studying.
I love you. I love you, sister.
I am so grateful.
I'm grateful too.
I went to class within a month's time, and I went back to class, and I shared with them a vision I had. It was when I was a little girl, I used to call her Isis. Call her, know as a set now. And I didn't saw her since I was a little girl because she just disappeared. And within the TV screen, I saw her this summer. And I just saw her aura. And the light from her aura from the television screen, which was in the class that I attend in Charleston, South Carolina. She said, tell them they must love. We must love.
That's right.
Because of all our teaching and knowledge, we have a sore spot in our heart for people that don't look like us, but it's harder to love, but we must love. That is the key.
That is the key.
Tonight, I'm telling everyone, I don't care what we or who we are angry at, we must find love, because that is the key to become our highest being.
God, that is God. Y'all hearing, that's God talking to you all and to me right now. That is God talking. That's the source talking right now. Through that physical form right there. That's God.
I'm on my job, so I have to go back to mute because the truck is loud.
We love you. We love you.
Love you too.
Yes. You see what I mean? She's got a foot in both worlds. Does everybody? Y'all see why I love this class so much? I love y'all so much. Do you know that? Because when I walk through the regular world right there, I'm so heartbroken at what I see and what I don't see. Are you following me? It's amazing how lost they are. Isn't it painfully? It's amazing how lost they are. And what's scary is the majority of them think they're found. They think they know. You hear me? And they don't know A from a bullfrog, do they? They don't have a clue. You got some of them out there that memorize so many books and scriptures, And they know everything about nothing. But they don't know the reality of who and what they are. You follow me? They know everything out there. Problem is, there is no out there. You hear me?
That's right.
Dark city. Dark city.
Dark city. Dark city. Professional illusionists. They know everything about the illusion. And will defend it. I'm talking about pissing on the gate. They'll defend it and will hump and pump with a wide, flat nose and a hump in their back pocket and sweat and will growl and threaten to bite. Defending that lie, that illusion. You hear what I'm saying? They don't have sense enough to know that they're growling at themselves.
That's the illusion.
Ain't that something?
That's good.
And you got people that's masters of the illusion, and they manipulate people while they're asleep.
All right, dude.
That's those shadow beings and those, what do you call it, the demons and the Azazel and all of them, yeah.
That's right, brother.
Yeah. Now that's really cool.
I love you, bro. I love this class. I love you.
Man, I love you too. I love you. I love you, all of y'all. I love y'all so much. I can't. I love us. Look.
Glad seeing you, man.
Well, I'm trying to tell you. You know what time it is. It's time for us to wake up. But y'all, look, I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all got beings that don't like what I'm teaching you. You see? And they're strategizing right now to figure out ways right now to stop me. So don't be surprised. It could be wickedness in high places.
I did talk about that today. They don't come out and
Don't believe it. Don't believe it, because you got a lot of people that's getting scared right now because they feel that their empire is crumbling. You know, they're afraid of the lie is collapsing.
You know, the master teacher warned you about these type of beings.
That's right, because you're waking up the zombies. Waking up the zombies. Are you following me? The Walking Dead. You hear me? I love y'all here. And love is the key. So let's visualize, take 15 minutes right now after class to visualize the master teacher free barefoot standing on the beach of Ghana looking out over the water. Okay? After class, all right?
Bye-bye.
Yes. What do?
Brother.
Yes.
They gone. Everybody gone now, man.
Yeah, who's this?
This brother.
Hey, okay, all right then. I hope you got somewhere tonight with that.
Oh, man.
I hope so. Well, you better know it. It's real.
Say it again?
You better know it's real, huh?
Man, I pray, you know, every day.
I know it. It's real. It is really real. And we are who we are. But we got to remember that. We got to remember that and not work on one another, work with one another, right? I love you all here.
All the time.
All the time. Peace.